Good evening. You're watching Hungarian Public Media's English language news broadcast, Hungary Reports. I'm Rochelle Flum. Thanks for joining us. Without families and children, a national community could end up disappearing, Viktor Orbán said at the third Budapest Demographic Summit on Thursday. The Prime Minister added, "We will win if we can set up a family support system in which those who decide to have children are guaranteed a higher standard of living than if they had opted against having children."
After greeting the Serbian president, the Czech and Slovak prime ministers, Viktor Orbán welcomed the former Australian prime minister at the Carmelite monastery, who came to attend the Budapest Demographic Summit. The Hungarian prime minister held bilateral talks with Tony Abbott. Viktor Orbán called the continuation of strong demographic policies a raison d'être and a task of the government. He said that having a bad population direction, nations of such a size as the Czech Republic, Serbia or Hungary could disappear. We believe if a nation disappears from the world, then something gets lost, which cannot be replaced, something that is irreplaceable, the Prime Minister said. He firmly added, migration as a solution to demographic issues must be kept away. A population exchange is out of the question. The Prime Minister also rejected the nonsense green idea, which claims the earth would benefit more if fewer children were born. Viktor Orbán said the base of the Hungarian family model is of a constitutional nature. He added these policies are the ones which protect from anti-family judicial decisions and from anti-family international organizations interfering in the Hungarian public life and decision-making. The PM also said a turning point in the family support system's effectiveness can only be reached if the standard of living is higher of those who have decided to have children than of those who have opted against having children. Viktor Orbán considers it a condition of successful family politics that until 2030, the Hungarian GDP exceeds the average of the EU's economic growth by at least 2% every year. The Prime Minister, however, pointed out, if Christianity doesn't strengthen in Europe, Hungary as a lonely island will hardly be able to achieve these results.
The responses we give to demographic challenges will determine our future. With these words, State Secretary for Family and Youth Affairs opened the third Budapest Demographic Summit. Katalin Novák emphasized that by 2019, demography had become the most important common issue. Therefore, researchers, civilians and politicians from all over the world have been invited to the event. At the forum, several current and former leaders agreed that supporting families is a key issue for the future of nation-states and that migration is not the answer to population problems.
The introductory blessings of representatives from Hungarian churches begin the third Budapest Demographic Summit. Researchers, citizens and politicians from all around the world arrived at the Várkert Bazaar in order to share their experiences with regards to demographical challenges. State Secretary for Family and Youth Affairs, Novák Katalin, said, "In 2019, demography is not one concern among the many, but rather the most important collective issue at hand. The answers we give to demographical concerns determine our future, from cultural and economic perspectives, as well as social standpoints," Katalin Novák said. Leaders of neighboring countries took part in the forum as well. Alexander Vučić, Serbia's head of state, emphasized, "Serbia has much to learn from Hungary with regards to how worthwhile it is to stand by families," while Andrej Babis, Czech Prime Minister, commented in the following way. "One of the most important tasks of the V4 countries is to make Central Europe a place where it is good to live, where all conditions necessary for family formation are met." Australia's former Prime Minister commented in a similar way.
"People have come to join us, not to change us. But as the countries of Europe have discovered, a large enough migrant influx is hard to integrate and can put pressure on the character of long-established, long-settled societies. So on current trends, most Western countries could be expected to be somewhat different, as well as relatively and often even absolutely smaller and comparatively weaker 50 years hence."
Tony Abbott added, "Hungary's Family Protection Action Plan is a unique and brave form of politics which aims to achieve population growth through means other than immigration efforts. According to the former head of government, this plan should be considered by other countries."
Hungary, as it always has done, will continue to support Georgia's integration efforts, said President János Áder in Tbilisi after talks with Georgian President. The head of state said that it was in Hungary's interest that Georgia's accession to NATO and the EU accelerate. The president of Georgia thanked Hungary for supporting her country's territorial integrity and for participating in the European Union monitoring mission, which prepares the country for EU membership and monitors the borders of the two separatist regions.
Hungary will continue to support Georgia's territorial integrity within its borders recognized by the international community. Hungary, as it did until now as well, will support the Euro-Atlantic integration efforts of Georgia. With the Georgian president, we have just talked about how the new president of the European Commission and the new commissioners could give a new momentum to the integration process, which seemed to have come to halt during the previous commission. This would benefit both Georgia and Hungary.
Budapest has been voted the most livable Eastern European city in this year's Global Livability Index, compiled by the Economist Intelligence Unit. The list ranks 140 countries based on 30 criteria, including stability, healthcare, culture, environment, education and infrastructure. Budapest achieved more than 90 out of the possible 100 points.
There was a huge crowd at the Sziget Festival this year as well, which is one of the largest cultural events of the capital. Gastronomy played the main role at the end of August. Visitors got acquainted with the diversity of traditional gastronomy in the Carpathian Basin for 3 days. The different programs are easily accessible by public transportation as well. A student from Germany will study here for a year. He has already mapped out the city.
The infrastructure is great. You have a very good metro and tram system, and also like bike sharing and something like that. And you have very good possibilities to get from one place to another here.
A student said. Based on a 30-point list, the prestigious weekly The Economist chose Vienna as the most livable city for the second year in a row. However, based on political and societal stability, public safety, healthcare, education, culture, and environment, as well as infrastructure, Budapest was awarded the highest evaluation in the Eastern European category. Furthermore, it greatly surpassed Prague and Moscow, the most popular tourist destinations, according to this assessment. According to the state secretary responsible for the briefing of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, as well as the international presence of Hungary, safety and the stable development of the capital are behind this positive review. In a survey conducted by the Economist Intelligence Unit, 3 Australian, 3 Canadian, 2 European, and 2 Japanese cities are considered to be the world's 10 most livable cities. On the other end of the spectrum, there are Tripoli, Algiers, Dakar, Caracas and Harare, and the war-torn city of Damascus in Syria.
Competitors of 11 nations with their horses from studs in Europe and America and with 32 chariots are expected to participate at the World Championship of Young Dressage Horses, where native Hungarian breeds are represented among the horses. Qualifying rounds kicked off on Thursday. The dressage final will take place on Saturday, and those interested can enjoy the combined obstacle driving and combined marathon driving on Sunday. Koloska Valley Wildlife Park is situated on 2.2 hectares, a few kilometers north of Balatonfüred. Providing a suitable habitat, the park introduces some of Hungary's wildlife in its natural environment. Those interested can observe the animals up close. The hillside gives home to 8 game species such as red deer, fallow deer, mudflone roe deer, quail, partridge, pheasant, and mallard. The number of insect species and the flora of the area are also significant. That's all for now, but we'll be back tomorrow night at around the same time, and you can catch us online as well. Please stay tuned for our news show in German, Russian, and Chinese. Thanks for watching. Take care. Good night.